What is up, everybody? Bleeding Blue Podcast. We are back at it to be talking some Blue Jays and a new segment that we have started. Of course, as we know, I lost last week with the Remember the Game segment. So I will be taking Ryan out on a little date, Blue Jays game, and buying all of his beers and drinks
Yeah.
while I sit back and shrivel up and die as I watch the Blue Jays lose. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Obviously, it's September baseball. We're back at school. We are ready to get back into it and get back into the grind because this weekend football season has started. Are you excited, Ryan? How excited are you?
Yeah. First game of the season is tonight. I am hyped. I'm going to be making some nachos. That's my tradition. Uh, first game of the season, and then usually the first Sunday of the season, like week one, we usually have a couple people over, and then we get the massive spread of food. So we get some pizzas. Might get some guac going on. My dad makes an insane guacamole, so we're gonna get that running on Sunday. But sadly, I think I'm working on Sunday, which kind of stinks. So I won't be able to watch most of the football. But just in general, like the beginning of the NFL season is always a great time of the year. That's when sports kind of all meet together. Hockey's starting to come into light a bit. Preseason is going to be starting up in a couple of weeks. Same with basketball. I know we don't really talk about basketball on this podcast that much, but just all these, all the North American sports, just coming together. And then there's usually that sports equinox, that one day where all four North American sports play on the same day, which would be fantastic. So I'm very, very excited for that. Very excited for what's upcoming for sports here in Canada and in the US.
I know what you mean. I am excited as well. I'm excited for football. Who they playing? The Bills.
First game today. Oh, the Bills. The Bills play the Cardinals week one. So it's a good little warm up to for the team. Ease into things. You're not playing a powerhouse team in week one, which is good to see. Especially since with a new offensive scheme and wide receiver core that Josh Allen has to work with. But yeah, I think the Bills should take care of that Cardinals team pretty easily. But for the first game of the season, we got Chiefs Ravens tonight, which is going to be a very good one. Obviously, a rematch of the AFC Championship game, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to see what these teams are going to look like heading into the season. A lot of changes have happened over the offseason in terms of free agents and signings and stuff.
What time is the game at?
8:00, I think. 8:30. Yeah.
I'm gonna try my best to watch that. I will be up watching that. I have work tonight. Mm-hmm. Hopefully I'm off by the time the game starts. So
yeah. Because I don't think the Jays are playing tonight. So
oh yeah, I know. And that sounds like a Ravens Chiefs. That should be a good.
It'll be a good game to start off the season. That's usually what they always do, right? The NFL, they always start off with a banger to get the season going. Especially they always bring in the Super Bowl winners. They always have them start off the season. So
cool.
It's gonna be a good game. I'm excited.
In other news, are you drinking a beer, by the way?
No, it's just a Corona glass, but I have it's like this peach mango juice. It's nice. No.
Nice. Yeah. Anyway, I was just gonna say, let's talk some Blue Jays. Obviously, they lost a series to the Phillies, going 0-2. First game, the bullpen, as we like to call them.
Oh boy.
Being shat the bed.
Oh, so bad.
Kyle Schwarber with the 3-run bomb in the bottom of the eighth. Or sorry, the top of the eighth or top of the ninth. It was not good.
Top of the eighth, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was not a fun game to watch. Oh no, this is top of the ninth.
Yeah.
So we could have won the game right there.
We could have, and we didn't. But what did you expect? That was really, really hard to watch. I mean, lots of runs being scored. Addison Barger with the home run. Spencer Horwitz. No, not Spencer Horwitz. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the home run. Dalton Varsho with the home run. I feel like Leo Jimenez hit a home run as well.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So a lot,
Varsho had one too.
a lot of positives.
This, yeah, but also a lot of negatives towards the end of the game. A
Yeah.
lot of negatives. Mr. Chad Green once again blowing the game.
We obviously know
Uh,
offense is not the problem with this team. We know that the issue with the team is the bullpen and the pitching. And you've only got really two decent pitchers on our roster in Chad Green, who just was terrible in the last two games. Genesis Cabrera, who's been good, 3.04 ERA in 53.1 innings. Bowden Francis has been awesome. Pitcher of the month, actually, uh,
mhm.
.com. And then Brendan Little, who's also been very good for this team in the last little bit. It's good to see. It is good to see this team do their thing. I like I like that there are some pitchers that are okay, but the rest of them are just awful, just not good whatsoever. And
Yeah, I mean Bassett, he tried to survive against a insane Phillies team, with Schwarber, Turner, Bryce Harper, Castellanos, Real Muto, Brandon Marsh, these guys, they just hit, man. That's why they're the best. Do they have the best record in the NL? Am I
but
correct in saying that? The Phillies, do they have the best record in the in the
I
in
think
the
the
NL?
Dodgers do, but Phillies are second.
Yeah, but nonetheless, they're they're probably one of the best teams in they are one of the best teams in baseball. And you're not these teams are stingy, man. They're not gonna let you beat them. They were what the Jays were up what 8-4 or something at one point, and
Yeah,
and then they just two of the last three innings they hit three runs in the seventh and the ninth. So
yeah.
these teams are not going to let you win. That's for damn sure.
Well, they've got
So you got to be better.
they've got one of the best. Excuse me. They've got one of the best bullpens in all of baseball. Um, Pretty much everybody that is pitching for this team has an ERA under 4. So like
Wow.
yeah. So like you look at like Jose Alvarado, actually he hasn't been as good. He's 4.22 ERA but 13 saves. Jeff Hoffman has a sub 2 ERA. Orion Kirkering 2.17 ERA. Matt Strom, Jose Ruiz has been awesome for them. Carlos Estevez, Tanner Banks, and they've got a really good pitching staff too. In Ranger Suarez, Christopher Hernandez, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola are all very, very, very good for their team. So, yeah, I mean, and then they've got like a very decent lineup. 1 through 9, like JT Real Muto, Bryce Harper, 282, 26 home runs. Bryson Stott has been okay for them. He's an incredible defender, though. Trey Turner, obviously. Alec Boehm has been having a career year. Brandon Marsh, great outfielder. Johan Rojas and Nick Castellanos, another good like 5-hole hitter. Kyle Schwarber hit 30 fucking 4 home runs against us. Oh my God, he is.
Hmm. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable player.
he was close to signing with the Jays, man. In
He
after.
was. He was. I remember that.
Mhm. And just think of Kyle Schwarber on this team, man, hitting 46, 40, 46 home runs. He is one of the best signings for the Phillies, that's for sure. I would say so. The amount of home runs
Yeah.
he's on a 4-year deal worth around each or 8 each year, around 20 million, and he's hitting 250 this year, which is for Kyle Schwarber very, very good. Does not usually hit that well, and
No, yeah. Last year he hit 197, but he had 47 home runs. Like that's just the way it goes for him, right? He's kind of like Stanton in a sense where it's either a pop fly or it's a home run or a strikeout. It's either strikeout or a home run. There's really no in between.
no, it's strikeout, home run, or walk. Look at how many
Yeah, yeah.
326 last year.
126 walks. Yeah, he leads the league this year in walks,
Yeah.
with 95. So yeah, and then he had 126 walks last year, but 215 strikeouts. led the league 2 years in a row. Yeah, but if you're hitting if you're hitting over 40 home runs a year, I don't think those strikeout stats really matter, in my opinion. As long as you're providing runs for the team, then I think that's what matters, really.
Like he'll reach 100 RBIs this year. He had 100 RBIs last year
For
too.
sure. For sure.
That's value. That is definitely value. So
Yep. I don't see why this would be obviously he's under a contract. Well, how many years does he have left? A couple years left in his contract with
just one more
the
year.
Phillies. One
I,
more year. I don't see why this wouldn't be a bad signing after his contract for the Jays. Obviously he's going to be a sought after player because he can provide runs for his team, but I don't know, man. I think this would be a good pickup for the Jays. Put him in DH. Have him hit him behind Vlad. I think that's not a bad idea. I don't see why it wouldn't be a bad idea.
no, I completely agree with you. I think the thing is with Schwarber is he'll probably end up re-signing with the Phillies. I wouldn't be surprised. Like they're
Oh
good.
yeah,
They have a lot of good players under contract for a long time. Like Castellanos will still be there. JT Realmuto will still be there. Um, like it's like Bryce Harper is just signed a super long extension.
right.
Trey Turner is going to be there forever. Like they still have a lot of these players under control for a long time. So I would not be surprised why Kyle Schwarber doesn't resign. You know.
That's true. That is very true. They have all the pieces to the puzzle, right? They just need that extra push because they can beat teams in the playoffs. They just, in the moments when they need to, like last year when they lost to Arizona, like just that one game, game seven, just they couldn't, find the extra X factor to beat them. But they definitely have all the pieces right now, and I think you mentioned at the beginning of the year when we predicted who was going to be in the final. I think you predicted that the Phillies were going to be right there. So I don't see why they can get to the World Series again.
Oh yeah, they have everything going for
And also you mentioned last year when they were in the playoffs, like you said, they're the most exciting team in baseball when they're firing on all cylinders. So I don't see why they can do it again. Great squad.
I know. I don't see why they can't either. They are a very good team. They have they have all the makings to be one of the best teams in the playoffs. But there's another team as well that we're coming up to be facing, a couple good teams. So my second favorite team, if you guys don't already know, are the New York Mets. New York Mets are if I'm cheering for a team in the NL, it's the Mets, man. Mets baby. And right now, they're on a 7-game win streak, point 0.5 games back of a wild card spot. And we are facing the Atlanta Braves next. So we have to win. We have to sweep the Atlanta Braves, and then we have to get swept by the New York Mets after.
Okay. We are going to see the Mets on Tuesday, which will
They're
be a
coming.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are going to see them. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to watch them. Hopefully Frank the Tank makes an appearance, and we can get a picture with him because that would be legendary for the pod. Uh, but yeah, yeah, I think the Jays are capable of beating these big teams, like we saw in the first game against the Phillies. Like they can produce runs. It's just the fact that they need to hold the lead. You know, they just can't. They just struggle with that, and um, the Braves. Their Jays are playing in Atlanta, so they're not gonna have a fun time trying to win that game. Those 3 games, but I think they have a strong chance of winning at least 2 of them. I think they can win 2 out of those 3 games, but it's just the fact that they need to hold the lead, man. If
Yeah.
they can hold the lead, then that shows signs of maturity in the young team, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. 100%. I don't know. Yeah, another other player on that. Yeah, the Mets. They just gotta keep on winning. That's the only thing. Anyway, let's get back to Blue Jays baseball. We got so the only player that has been again continuing to be incredible, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's so tough to see where he will land in the MVP race. But right now, 5.6 WAR, wins above replacement, among Baseball Reference. I think he is one of the most valuable players in the league, and it's tough why he can't be up there and maybe top 5 with guys like Bobby Witt and and
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and Gunnar Henderson. So he's almost hitting 330, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has the second highest average in the MLB, next to Bobby Witt Jr.
In the MLB, not the AL.
Yeah,
That's insane.
league leaders, MLB. Let's take a look right now. Yeah, it just shows that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's all it does. So in terms of average, Bobby Witt Jr. 339, Vladimir Guerrero 328, Aaron Judge 323, Jordan 311.
It's funny because Judge would be right up there if he wasn't struggling the past few games. Because he's been last 9 games he hasn't had a home run. And that's kind of been setting him back in his, beating his own record for the AL home run race. But you know, I don't see why Vlad is not a top 3 AL MVP vote getter. Like he's carrying this Jays team on his back. I don't think there's any debate why he shouldn't be up there. I know they're not in the playoff spot, obviously. But I think just the fact that, no, the only reason why this team is relevant right now is because of Vlad, right?
Yeah.
You should just they should be pumped the league should be pumping his tires for how good he is, right? And it's just the fact that, they're also in Canada and they're not playing the best this year, but he should be right up there with everyone else. I don't see why he can't.
No, agreed. 100%.
But I think if there was a main MVP this year, it's Ohtani. 100%, no doubt. He's going to be 50-50, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. No one has ever done that in the league ever. I think he's undoubtedly the best player. If Judge was playing, a bit better, since the last 9 games he hasn't had a home run. If he was playing better, he might be up there. But Ohtani is just, I know he's not pitching this year and he's a DH and stuff, and he's not playing in the outfield. But I don't think it matters because no one else in the league is doing what he's doing. You gotta agree. You gotta agree with me on this.
I don't know if I agree. I think Lindor has a better chance. He's a more valuable player. He's another guy that is carrying the Mets on his back. He is one of the best shortstops, maybe the best shortstop defensively in the entire league, in the entire MLB. And being a shortstop is one of the hardest players. And then at the same time, hitting home runs and doubles, being a leadoff hitter, and right now he's hitting 275 with 30 home runs. And let's see right now, has a 6.3 wins above replacement and 26 stolen bases too. Obviously, Ohtani's got more, but the fact that, Lindor can carry this team, like Lindor can, I saw a quote, Lindor can go 0 for 4 and still be a valuable asset to the team. Ohtani 0 for 4 in a playoff game, because he's not playing pitching or he's not.
But like that's just for this year though. Next year he's gonna have that. He's a 7.0 WAR, and he's not even he's not even playing defensively. That's how valuable he is.
Sure, yeah, that's you're right. He's not pitching, but we're talking about this year though. He's the best player. He's very, very good. I have no doubt about Ohtani being one of the best players, maybe the best player in the National League. But I think Lindor should have as good of a shot as Ohtani to win MVP because Lindor, again, he's a shortstop, and that is the hardest position in the entire, other than maybe a pitcher. But Ohtani's not pitching, so you can't really say it. And position, it's the hardest position to play in the MLB. I would say in baseball, and
Fair enough.
And he's got a chance. He's 275 average, 30 home runs. He'll probably get to 100 close, or if not 100 RBIs in the leadoff spot too, which is way harder because you don't have runners on base. You're the first person on, you know, and he's still got 84 RBIs right now.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
understandable.
yeah, yeah. So that
That
was
is understandable, but I just think because it is detrimental to Otani because he has Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and the home run derby champ on his team, so he has people to back him up, and I guess Lindor doesn't really have that firepower to help him out. He has Pete Alonso, but he's not having you know he's not what he used to be, right? And I understand your point. You know, it's kind of like Mahomes and I wouldn't this is a stupid comparison, but it's kind of like Mahomes and Allen, but like Mahomes does not have like, the firepower that Otani has. But like, in terms of comparison, right? Allen does not have Travis Kelsey and Mahomes has, Mahomes has the best tight end maybe of all time on his team.
hmm.
And Allen, I felt, was the most valuable player. But even though Mahomes didn't win it, and it was given to Lamar Jackson, I still think if Allen is not on that team and is replaced by another, uh, quarterback, they would not win. They would not go as far as if it was Allen. So, but aside from stop comparing stuff from football, but I do understand your point about Lindor and how he's because I haven't been paying much attention to the Mets this year, but I'm looking at his stats right now, and you are completely right. He is performing at a very high level. You
Yeah.
can't disregard that.
Mhm. No, for sure. Anyway, let's continue. Let's move on to next discussion. So yeah, Blue Jays on to Atlanta Braves. How do you think the series is gonna go?
I think the Jays get one. I think they won't get one game, but they could easily get two. The Braves are a tough team to play against. Obviously, Acuna is not playing this year due to his injury, but without him, they're still a very good team. Obviously, you have Marcelo Ozuna from the Braves on their team, so it's Marcelo Ozuna from the Braves. Matt Olson, obviously not having the best year this year, only hitting 233 with 25 home runs. I think he should be playing a little bit better, a little bit above more than that. Um, I'd say Landor Garcia, good player too. Same with Michael Harris, great defensive outfielder. Still a solid team. Sean Murphy and Darno at catcher, great duo.
Yeah,
I think they get two or three. I think, especially since they're at home. So, but I think the Jays sneak in one.
we'll see. I mean, they've got some good players on their team. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. They have some.
Chris Sale, obviously. Probably going to be. Wait, is Chris Sale on this team anymore? Yes, he is. Chris Sale, obviously, probably going to win the Cy Young this year. In the NL, having a fantastic year. I think. I don't know if Chris Sale is going to be pitching against us. Probably he will, but I don't know. I think they get two. They're playing very well this year, despite the injuries that they have.
Yeah, they have huge injuries on this team. Acuna, Austin Riley, and Ozzy Albies on the IL right now. That's
Hmm.
detrimental to
And
them.
they're still 13 games above 500, which is pretty insane. Just shows you how good they are.
It's the pitching, man. Their pitching is so valuable. Like they have a incredible. They have a really good bullpen too. Raisel Iglesias has been awesome for them. Dylan Lee, like Jesse Chavez. Yeah, they've got a very good. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, but they're missing players. Spencer Strider is no longer like he's on the IL. He'll be out for the remainder of the season.
I remember that. I drafted him in fantasy, or someone drafted him in fantasy, and it was like one of their first picks, and they just had to take him off because he was done for the rest of the year or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, did he have to get Tommy John?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
So
He's a
yeah,
good player too, man.
got Chris Sale, Charlie Morton, Max Fried, Ronaldo Lopez. That's a pretty good 1, 2, 3, 4 punch right there.
Mm. But yeah, I still think the Braves get two.
Fair enough.
I think so. I
All
think they
right.
do it.
Let's move on and continue the discussion. Let's move on to our next segment. How about that?
Mm-hmm. So we've kind of scrapped the things that don't make sense segment. We were kind of having a hard time uh finding things that don't make sense because I think we've basically discussed all of it. But this one's kind of more, you can do this more relevant, and we call this, I'm kind of stealing off one of my favorite podcasts, The Brilliantly Dumb Show, with the boys from Bob Does Sports. But I think the buy or sell segment is it's a relevant segment, and it's you can get other people talking. So basically, about what buy or sell is you buy something from the week, so something you do like, and you sell something you don't like from this past week that you've seen on the news or sports world. Something you just bought that you like or dislike. Something relevant to this week's or this month, or in general, right? So I think it's a good segment to get people talking about what's happening in relevant times. So I'm just going to start off here with my buy and sell. My buy this week is the IPTV box. I think I've mentioned this to you this week, but I think it is one of the greatest inventions ever. It may or may not be illegal, but I think just the fact that you can my IPTV box, I think many people's IPTV box have thousands and thousands of movies that you don't have to pay streaming services for. You can just watch wherever you want. It may lag sometimes. Most of the time, it's pretty much very good quality. Um, yeah, it's fantastic. Like, especially some movies that you can't find on streaming services. Like, I know a movie that I've been looking for a while is Blade Runner, because I haven't seen it in a while. Is not on any streaming services unless you want to pay for it. And the IPTV box literally has everything. There's TV shows, like The Office, that have a TV channel that you can just watch The Office. Like, that's on like a constant marathon. And I think it's fantastic, to be completely honest. I think it's great. Um, I think it's a great buy. If you're looking for something that's a bit cheaper than spending countless dollars a month on streaming services, and you don't have to pay for every single one, you can get everything for it. For I think I'm paying $8 a month. So I think it's a good buy this week. Um, and my sell this week is kind of related to movies. This time of year is Harry Potter season. I'm a big Harry Potter person. I read the books when I was younger. I still used to read them. Watch the movies every year at the beginning of September. But there's a tradition that they do at King's Cross, which is like the Union Station in London. They have like the platform 9 3/4 showing on the screen or whatever they usually do it. They didn't do it this year. I'm going to sell that because I think it's a great tradition and you know pop culture in England and the UK, and I think it's a great tradition. And people show up to watch it, and I think it's a cool tradition. I wouldn't do it because I'm not that big of a fan, but I think it's a cool little tidbit that they do for to recognize Harry Potter as a massive pop culture phenomenon in the past I'd say 20 30 years. And they didn't do it this year, which kind of made me a little sad because it's a big part of movie culture and book culture and fiction and fantasy. And I don't know. I think it would have been a good idea, just put it on the screen. But that's my sell this week. I think it should be noticeable throughout uh, movie lore and fantasy, because Harry Potter's a big culture around the world, not just in England or in North America, but around the world. A lot of people love the movies and the books, and I think it should be more note. I think it should be kept going. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. But I love that. I love that bot. I love that sell. Yeah, King's Cross. You got to do better. You got to do better, UK. Got to do better.
Fair enough. Okay. Anyway, I'll do mine now. Let me say.
Yep.
So, my buy for the week. My buy would be I just watched this movie last night and I was pleasantly surprised at, how fun and lighthearted it was and I enjoyable it was, but that was Clueless. I just watched the movie.
I watched it the other day too. We did it. Was it for school?
Yeah.
Jeff. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, and it was a pleasant surprise. It was a fun little story. Alicia Silverstone she's great in this. I'm surprised she didn't get nominated for like a Golden Globe or something for best
Mm-hmm.
musical or comedy actress that year because I think she carries the film on
Yeah.
her back. A lot of good actors and actresses in this. You got um
Paul Rudd's great.
Brittany
Paul
Murphy,
Rudd's great in it too.
that dude from Scrubs, the guy that does the Fortnite dance. Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of the main guy, the dad. I've seen him in so many.
Oh, he's in so much. He's in oh shit. What else? What is he in? He's in oh my god, he's in so many movies. That's like a that guy. That's like a that guy. Like you see him in like he's in like 100 movies, and you recognize the guy, but you don't know his name. But yeah, he's great. He's
Yeah.
great.
So that
Great character actor. That guy.
was a good movie. Good buy. Definitely a buy. Yeah, it's kind of like Mean Girls. It's very similar to that movie. Like you kind of, I wouldn't say I'm embarrassed to watch it, but it's not something I go around saying is my favorite movie of all time. That's for sure. But Mean Girls is still funny, and Clueless was pretty funny too. There's some jokes in there that
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Um, but yeah, that's what I have to say about that. That's my buy. My sell, and this is a hard sell. I don't want to see this ever in my entire life, and that would be the Talk to a podcast uh, with the Hawk to a girl, Haley. Oh my God, she might be the most annoying fucking person I have ever seen, heard in my entire life. Hear her voice, it is like nails on a chalkboard. That stupid southern accent. Uh, she needs to. She is like the Tommy Wiseau of TikTok. She said
Yeah.
something, slightly not even that funny, uh, on some TikTok, and then all of a sudden she becomes super famous, and she is just milking it, milking
Yeah.
15 minutes for. And I'm a hater. I don't care. You can say, "Oh, my haters, they can back off." You thought I was leaving? No, I'm not leaving. No, I don't care. Yeah, you're talentless, and
Yeah. And guess who's funding the podcast? Fucking Jake Paul. That prick. That guy. Of course, he would be the one to fund the podcast because no one else wanted to.
she's
I
popular.
just don't want to. Yeah.
Popular, and that's the reason why she's getting all this. Why people are supporting her because it's at the right time when Jake Paul's about to fight. Yeah, it is the thing about podcasting on TikTok. It's like, yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be interesting at all. Um, yeah, I don't know. She's milking that 15 minutes like crazy. It's interesting to see. I mean, honestly, I'll say this: good for her that she's able to find some success out of this, but it's not in a positive way, that's for sure. I don't really care about her. She's annoying as fuck, that's for sure. And yeah. Anyway,
Just the voice alone, man. Ugh.
she's not attractive either. I don't want to. Yeah, like I do not find her attractive at all. Everyone goes fucking over the walls for her, and
No.
it's like, oh my God, she's so hot. Talk to a girl. I love that girl.
She says two words and now she has her own podcast. Remember that? I don't know if you remember this, but you remember that guy who was skateboarding drinking cranberry juice or pomegranate juice and with Dreams by Fleetwood Mac in the background. Remember that? Like a few years ago? And that guy was prepared to have like his own TV show, like talk show. Like why do they give these types of people, they do absolutely nothing and they, get given a career to them on a silver platter. Like it doesn't make sense to me how that happens.
I don't know,
I
man.
don't understand. I don't understand. And then of course, like you mentioned, this girl gets her own podcast set up. Meanwhile, we're sitting in our rooms, grinding, you know. Well, meanwhile, she has her own fucking podcast in a corporate building. I don't know, man.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's I don't know, capitalism, man. People love popular people, so it's like Donald Trump. It's like people love him because he's fucking Donald Trump and he's famous and he does says things and that's why he gets votes because he's different, you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my
Let's not get
small
political
little
here.
political view right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
a pinch of salt right there. Um. Anyway, yeah. Let's end it off here. Um. Thank you guys so much for listening to the episode. We will see you next week with another one coming up after the Braves and Blue Jays series, and we will have football to talk about as well, which will be awesome.
Go.
Wait to discuss some. I'm excited. This fall's coming up, man. Starting to get a little bit more chilly. School's starting.
Yep.
I like it. I'm liking it.
Yep.
I'm
All
ready.
right.
All right. Cheers. Like us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Spotify. We're on all those apps and platforms. Make sure to like and subscribe and give us a little comment on any of the apps you would like to. Cheers and have a good one.